Welcome to the Psych Ignition channel. There's something quietly fascinating about Sigma males. Spend time around one and you might notice a strange pattern. He often acts as if he doesn't know what's going on. He lets others explain things to him, even when it's obvious he already understands. He may even appear absent-minded, aloof, or as though he's not paying attention. To the casual observer, this can look like cluelessness, like he's behind or missing something important. But those who watch closely realize that this apparent cluelessness is deliberate. It is not incompetence, it's strategy. Sigma males often live in a world where people are quick to prove themselves, eager to show how much they know, or desperate to display confidence. But the Sigma takes the opposite path. He lets the room believe he's quiet, detached, maybe even unaware. What most don't realize is that this calm detachment gives him the ultimate advantage: time to watch, time to listen, time to process before acting. There's an old saying, the wise man knows more than he says while the fool says more than he knows. Sigma males embody this principle. What looks like indifference is often restraint. What looks like passivity is often observation. And what looks like cluelessness is often a subtle way of outsmarting everyone around him. In today's video, we'll explore 6 reasons why Sigma males act clueless, yet secretly use this trait as one of their strongest tools. This isn't about manipulation or playing games, it's about understanding the deeper psychology of a man who doesn't rush, doesn't chase validation, and doesn't feel the need to announce his power. Let's explore why the Sigma male's act of being clueless is in fact one of the sharpest forms of intelligence. Number 1. The power of controlled perception. There's a subtle art to how Sigma males allow others to perceive them. Most people spend their lives managing impressions, trying to appear smarter, stronger, or more capable than they are. But the Sigma plays a different game. He knows that perception itself is a tool, and sometimes, the most powerful way to control a situation is by not appearing to control it at all. This is the essence of controlled perception, the ability to influence how others see you without ever revealing that you're doing it. When a Sigma appears confused, uncertain, or withdrawn, it's rarely a sign of weakness. It's a way of guiding others' assumptions. People project their own biases onto him, showing their true thoughts and insecurities, all while believing they're in the lead. Psychologists call this impression management, and it's one of the most subtle forms of social intelligence. It's not manipulation, it's calibration. By presenting a softer or less threatening image, the Sigma gains freedom. He can move through social environments unnoticed, avoiding resistance and unnecessary scrutiny. It's similar to the ancient strategy of Wu Wei from Taoist philosophy, the idea of achieving power through apparent effortlessness. The Sigma understands that appearing passive can often lead to greater control than overt dominance. When others think you're harmless, they drop their defenses. When they think you're unknowing, they reveal more. And when they think you're slow, they stop competing against you. What's remarkable is how this quiet control shapes entire dynamics. In workplaces, it allows the Sigma to navigate hierarchies with ease. In relationships, it grants him emotional leverage, not by deceit, but through composure. He doesn't demand attention, he commands it through mystery. The less he reveals, the more others fill in the blanks, and the more influence he silently gains. This is why Sigma males often seem to come out of nowhere, rising in success or mastering complex situations that others never saw them preparing for. They weren't absent. They were simply observing, shaping perceptions, and waiting for the moment when subtlety turns into strength. The Sigma knows that what people think they see is often more powerful than what's actually true. And mastering that illusion is one of his quietest, yet most effective, forms of intelligence. Number 2. Observation before action. Sigma males value silence as much as knowledge, and this quiet discipline is often misunderstood by those around them. To the casual eye, it may seem as though they are aloof, distracted, or even disinterested, yet beneath that exterior is a deliberate strategy. When a Sigma male acts as though he does not fully grasp the situation, he is not displaying ignorance, he is creating space. In that space, something powerful unfolds: observation. By stepping back and allowing others to speak, explain, or even underestimate him, the Sigma male gains something far more valuable than immediate recognition. He gains insight, he learns what drives people, what triggers their emotions, and where their vulnerabilities lie. This approach is rooted in an ancient truth about human interaction. History shows us that some of the most effective leaders and thinkers often listened more than they spoke. Socrates, for instance, was known for asking questions rather than making declarations. His so-called ignorance was not a lack of knowledge, but a way to uncover deeper truths about others. Similarly, Sigma males use their silence as a mirror, letting people reveal themselves in ways they would not if confronted directly. Modern psychology even supports this idea. Research on active listening shows that people reveal more information and more honestly when they feel they are not being challenged or outsmarted. By appearing neutral or even clueless, the Sigma male gathers intelligence quietly, like a strategist mapping the battlefield. It's important to recognize that this isn't laziness or indecision. On the contrary, it is a form of patience that few can master. In a world obsessed with quick reactions and fast answers, the Sigma male's ability to hold back makes him stand apart. Think of it like a chess game. The beginner rushes to move pieces quickly, eager to win early. The master, however, waits, studies, and observes until the right move becomes obvious. That is the Sigma male's way, not rushing into action but letting others expose their strategies first. This patience allows him to act with precision when the moment is right. Silence also serves another role for Sigma males. It protects their energy. Neuroscience suggests that constant talking and explaining depletes cognitive resources. By conserving words and speaking only when necessary, Sigma males maintain mental clarity and avoid the exhaustion that comes from overexposure. In this way, silence becomes both a shield and a weapon. It shields them from unnecessary entanglements, and it arms them with the clarity to make decisions that others, blinded by noise, often miss. Far from clueless, the Sigma male is quietly writing the script while others are busy acting it out. Number 3. Disarming others' guard. When someone appears clueless, the world tends to look at them through a softer lens. People instinctively underestimate those who seem absent-minded, quiet, or uninformed. This is where the Sigma male's subtle brilliance comes into play. By allowing himself to appear detached or even naive, he avoids the spotlight that often draws unwanted competition or resistance. In psychology, this tendency is known as strategic self-presentation, the art of shaping how others perceive you. The Sigma leverages this by lowering the guards of those around him. Instead of being seen as a rival, he is often dismissed as someone harmless, even forgettable. But in that dismissal lies his strength. History and research show us that invisibility can be a powerful weapon. During World War II, military strategists often used deception, appearing weaker or less aware than they actually were, to mislead the enemy. Sigma males do something similar in social and professional settings. By downplaying what they know, they create a safe space where others reveal themselves freely. Conversations open up, hidden motives surface, and opportunities slip into view. While everyone else is busy proving their competence, the Sigma is quietly absorbing details. He gathers information like a sponge, unnoticed and unchallenged. This approach is rooted in behavioral science as well. Studies on social dynamics reveal that people tend to share more with those they don't see as a threat. When someone assumes you're clueless, they let their guard down, they speak more openly, they exaggerate less, and they underestimate your ability to act on what you've learned. The Sigma male thrives here, moving under the radar with freedom. His so-called cluelessness is not ignorance, it is camouflage. Entertainingly enough, you can think of the Sigma as the chess player who pretends not to know the rules, only to later deliver a checkmate. He knows that in a world obsessed with appearances, humility, whether real or performed, is disarming. By stepping back and letting others underestimate him, he creates an unexpected advantage. This makes him unpredictable, hard to manipulate, and ultimately more powerful than those who loudly display their knowledge or strength. So while others are caught up in showing off, the Sigma embraces invisibility as his shield and wisdom as his silent weapon. What looks like cluelessness is often his most calculated move, a way to disarm, observe, and eventually outsmart everyone who thought he wasn't paying attention. In reality, he has been watching all along. Number 4. Avoiding needless confrontation. Acting aloof is often misunderstood as carelessness or indifference, but for Sigma males, it is a deliberate and highly effective strategy. By appearing detached or even slightly clueless, they avoid the endless power struggles that dominate much of male social interaction. In many settings, workplaces, friendships, or competitive environments, men often expend enormous amounts of energy trying to outshine, dominate, or impress others. Sociologists describe this as status competition, a deeply ingrained behavior where individuals constantly vie for recognition or superiority. The Sigma male, however, chooses not to enter this exhausting cycle. Instead of fighting for the spotlight, he steps aside, letting others drain themselves in battles that ultimately lead nowhere. This approach is not about weakness or passivity. It's about efficiency. Research in psychology shows that constant rivalry and social comparison can raise stress hormones like cortisol, which over time damage both mental clarity and physical health. By refusing to play the dominance game, the Sigma conserves his energy, preserving it for pursuits that genuinely matter to him. His aloofness acts like a shield filtering out distractions and unnecessary conflicts. He doesn't need to prove himself in loud ways because his value is not determined by external validation. This self-possession gives him a quiet power that is far more sustainable than the fleeting highs of winning an argument or besting a rival. Interestingly, history and literature give us countless examples of figures who mastered this art of strategic detachment. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius emphasize the futility of competing for praise, reminding us that external approval is fleeting. Likewise, leaders such as Abraham Lincoln often used humility and quiet restraint to avoid unproductive conflicts, focusing instead on larger goals that truly mattered. The Sigma male walks a similar path. He is not blind to what's happening around him. He simply chooses not to engage unless the situation genuinely aligns with his values or ambitions. In modern society, this mindset offers a crucial lesson. Many people burn themselves out chasing recognition or reacting to provocations. The Sigma's apparent cluelessness is a reminder that not every battle is worth fighting, not every comment deserves a reply, and not every stage requires your presence. By stepping back, he retains clarity, focus, and autonomy. What others mistake as ignorance is in fact wisdom in disguise, a conscious refusal to be pulled into noise. And while the crowd wrestles for dominance, the Sigma quietly advances, directing his energy toward his own vision of success, untouched by the chaos that surrounds him. Number 5. Strategic listening. Most people listen with one goal, to reply. They're not truly absorbing what is being said, they are simply waiting for their turn to speak. The Sigma male, however, listens differently. He listens to understand. This distinction may sound subtle, but it changes everything. When someone listens only to respond, their mind is busy crafting a comeback or rehearsing their next sentence. But when one listens to understand, the mind becomes still, present, and receptive. The Sigma embodies this second form of listening, and it gives him an edge in social interactions that most people overlook. Psychologists call this active listening, and studies have shown that it leads to deeper trust, stronger relationships, and better communication outcomes. In fact, research in organizational psychology reveals that leaders who practice true listening are more likely to inspire loyalty and uncover critical information. For the Sigma, this isn't just a leadership technique, it's a way of life. By staying quiet and letting others feel the silence, he creates a space where people feel safe to reveal themselves. And in doing so, they often share more than they intended. This phenomenon isn't accidental. Communication experts point out that silence often makes people uncomfortable, prompting them to over-explain or disclose hidden details just to fill the gap. The Sigma uses this natural tendency to his advantage, storing every piece of information with precision. Think of it like a chess game. While others rush their moves, eager to prove themselves, the Sigma studies the board in silence. He observes patterns, notes weaknesses, and sees opportunities forming long before anyone else does. His quietness isn't ignorance, it's strategy. By allowing others to speak freely, he gathers insights not just about facts, but about personalities, motives, and vulnerabilities. Over time, these insights become a powerful arsenal, an invisible advantage that allows him to navigate life with a kind of effortless precision. History is filled with examples of this power of silence and observation. Leaders like Abraham Lincoln were known for speaking less and listening more, often letting others underestimate them before revealing the depth of their knowledge. Similarly, in martial arts traditions, the master watches the student carefully before making a move. The Sigma carries this same spirit into everyday life. He doesn't need to prove what he knows because knowledge withheld is often more powerful than knowledge displayed. So while the world chatters away, the Sigma listens, not to reply, but to understand. And in that understanding, he uncovers truths that others miss, truths that shape his quiet but undeniable influence. Number 6. Preserving energy and focus. Not everything deserves a reaction, and Sigma males understand this better than most. Their ability to remain detached isn't about being cold or unfeeling, it's about conserving energy for what truly matters. In a world where constant stimulation, arguments, and social noise pull people in every direction, Sigma males stand apart. By refusing to get entangled in trivial disputes or meaningless drama, they maintain mental clarity and emotional balance. This selective response is not laziness, it's strategy. Psychologists often highlight the concept of emotional regulation, which is the skill of controlling how one responds to external triggers. Studies in neuroscience reveal that our brains burn tremendous amounts of energy when engaged in conflict or overreaction. Every emotional outburst or unnecessary debate can drain focus that could otherwise be channeled into solving problems, pursuing goals, or building meaningful connections. Sigma males seem to grasp this instinctively. They know that reacting to every provocation is like pouring water into a leaking bucket. It exhausts resources with no lasting benefit. History offers plenty of examples of individuals who mastered this principle. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Roman emperor, who advised in his writings that true strength lies in self-mastery, not in overpowering others. Similarly, samurai in feudal Japan practiced mushin, the art of no mind, where one does not allow distractions or petty matters to cloud judgment. Sigma males operate in a comparable way, reserving their sharpest energy for pursuits that align with their values and long-term vision. This detachment doesn't mean they lack passion. On the contrary, it allows them to direct passion where it creates impact, toward projects, personal missions, or relationships that truly count. Imagine a chess player who doesn't waste moves chasing pawns, but instead calculates how to protect the king. Sigma males embody this mindset, recognizing that attention is their most valuable currency. By ignoring what is shallow, they invest in what is deep. In everyday life, this plays out in subtle ways. When someone tries to provoke them with gossip or petty insults, the Sigma male often responds with silence, a faint smile, or no response at all. This isn't weakness. It unsettles the other person, revealing who is truly in control. Meanwhile, the Sigma walks away unbothered, mind still focused on his creative work, personal growth, or private ambitions. Ultimately, their detachment is not about indifference. It's about discipline. In a culture addicted to reaction, Sigma males prove that the most powerful move is sometimes no move at all by staying calm. They conserve energy, maintain focus, and keep their eyes fixed on the things that genuinely shape their future. Number 7. Emotional detachment as inner power. The Sigma male's calm exterior isn't just a personality trait, it's a fortress. Behind his composed silence lies a deep mastery of emotional detachment, a discipline that shields him from chaos and gives him the clarity to act with precision. In a world driven by emotional impulsiveness, this detachment becomes his secret form of inner power. Emotional detachment doesn't mean coldness or lack of empathy. It means the ability to feel without being ruled by feelings, to observe emotions like waves without drowning in them. Sigma males have learned to stand still while others are swept away by anger, jealousy, or fear. This is what allows them to maintain balance when everyone else is losing theirs. Psychologists call this emotional self-regulation, the cornerstone of emotional intelligence. It's the ability to remain grounded when provoked, calm when challenged, and focused when others panic. The Sigma practices this naturally. He knows that reacting emotionally often hands power to others, because whoever controls your emotions, controls your behavior. By staying detached, he maintains command of his inner world. He doesn't chase validation because his worth isn't determined externally. He doesn't get pulled into arguments because peace of mind is more valuable than being right. And he doesn't fear being misunderstood, because he understands that silence often speaks louder than justification. This emotional distance is also what gives the Sigma his magnetic presence. People sense it. They can't quite read him, and that mystery draws them in. It's the same quality that spiritual traditions describe as equanimity, an unshakable calmness that comes from knowing who you are and what you value. From a biological standpoint, studies show that those who practice emotional control engage their prefrontal cortex more than their amygdala, the rational mind over the reactive one. The result? Sharper decisions, better judgment, and the ability to stay composed under pressure. The Sigma embodies this principle in every move. When others rush to prove, argue, or defend, he remains unbothered, guided by purpose, not impulse. His detachment isn't apathy, it's power in its purest form. Because in a world that constantly seeks to provoke, the one who cannot be shaken is the one who truly holds control. Number 8. Independence from validation. One of the most defining traits of a Sigma male is his emotional independence, his complete detachment from the need for validation. In a world where self-worth is often measured by likes, praise, and recognition, the Sigma operates by a different code. His sense of identity doesn't hinge on how others perceive him, it's grounded in internal stability, not external approval. When people act clueless, they're often doing it unintentionally, out of fear of being wrong or misunderstood. But when the Sigma appears clueless, it's intentional. He isn't seeking to impress, persuade, or win anyone's approval. He's simply existing in his own lane, unbothered by the expectations of the crowd. This independence is rare, and it's what gives the Sigma his quiet magnetism. Psychologically, this trait stems from what researchers call self-determination theory, the idea that true motivation and fulfillment arise from autonomy, mastery, and purpose rather than external reward. The Sigma embodies this principle effortlessly. He's driven by inner goals, not social validation. He doesn't chase acceptance because he already accepts himself. This lack of dependency creates a calm, grounded presence that others can feel. People who are constantly seeking validation tend to reveal their insecurities through their words, tone, or reactions. The Sigma, however, emits stability. His confidence is understated, built not on applause, but on awareness. He doesn't speak to impress, he speaks to express truth. And if that truth goes unnoticed, he remains unmoved. This emotional independence also allows him to take risks others fear. He doesn't need the crowd's approval to make a move. Whether he succeeds or fails, his self-worth remains intact. This makes him unpredictable, a quality that society often misunderstands as arrogance, when in reality, it's freedom. History is full of men who embodied this trait, innovators, philosophers, and thinkers who refused to conform to popular opinion. Figures like Nikola Tesla, Bruce Lee, and Marcus Aurelius each showed the power of walking one's own path, even when it meant being misunderstood. The Sigma shares this same spirit. His apparent cluelessness is often just disinterest in performing for others. He'd rather be real and overlooked than fake and celebrated. In the end, that independence from validation is what makes him untouchable, because you can't control a man who has nothing to prove. Number 9. The philosophy of silent mastery. At the heart of every Sigma male lies a deeper philosophy, a quiet belief that mastery speaks for itself. He understands that power doesn't always need a stage, and wisdom doesn't always require an audience. The Sigma's so-called cluelessness is, in truth, a reflection of his devotion to silent mastery, the art of letting skill, awareness, and patience do the talking. This mindset is rooted in one of life's simplest but most overlooked truths: true mastery requires stillness. When the mind is noisy, cluttered with opinions and reactions, clarity disappears. The Sigma embraces silence as the forge of his strength. He learns, refines, and improves away from the spotlight, often unnoticed by those too busy performing for it. This is why Sigma males often emerge from obscurity with a depth of knowledge or skill that surprises everyone. While others chase validation or immediate results, the Sigma invests in the long game, becoming exceptional in private so he never has to prove himself in public. His calm exterior hides the quiet fire of discipline and patience. In Zen philosophy, this is called shibumi, effortless excellence born from years of unseen effort. The Sigma doesn't seek to dominate others, he seeks to master himself. He understands that real strength isn't loud or aggressive, it's composed, precise, and controlled. When he acts, it's not to show off, it's because the action aligns with his purpose. In a way, his silence is his greatest teacher. It keeps him humble enough to keep learning and detached enough to keep growing. The Sigma knows that those who talk the most often achieve the least because their energy is spent on appearance rather than evolution. He prefers the opposite, to evolve quietly, to act deliberately, and to let results speak when words no longer need to. In the end, his apparent cluelessness isn't confusion, it's wisdom. It's the understanding that the loudest person in the room may command attention, but the quietest one commands awareness. And awareness is the foundation of all mastery. So while others chase recognition, the Sigma remains still, sharp, and patient. He knows that real power is not in being seen, it's in being prepared when no one else is watching. That is the philosophy of silent mastery, the final, and perhaps most profound, secret of the Sigma male's calm intelligence. Number 10. Mastery of timing. The Sigma knows that knowledge isn't just about what you know. It's about when you use it. By appearing behind the curve, he creates the perfect moment to step forward. When he finally acts, it's decisive, efficient, and often surprising to those who assumed he was clueless all along. This approach may seem puzzling, but it reflects one of the oldest truths about intelligence. Timing is often more valuable than raw information. In chess, for example, a player may deliberately sacrifice a piece, giving the illusion of weakness, only to unleash a checkmate a few moves later. The Sigma male embodies this same principle in everyday life. His silence and seeming detachment are often the quiet setup for a calculated move that others never saw coming. This strategy is rooted in psychology as much as it is in philosophy. Studies in behavioral science show that people who withhold information or remain quiet in group settings are often perceived as less knowledgeable. Yet when they do finally contribute, their words carry greater weight. This is known as the sleeper effect, where the delayed delivery of a message makes it more impactful. Sigma males use this natural bias to their advantage, allowing others to underestimate them until the perfect moment arrives. Instead of wasting energy proving themselves constantly, they let the environment reveal its hand, then respond with precision. History is full of examples where restraint proved more powerful than action. Take Sun Tzu's Art of War, a book still studied by military leaders and CEOs today. One of its core teachings is to appear weak when you are strong. This philosophy resonates deeply with the Sigma archetype. By appearing out of the loop or disinterested, he avoids unnecessary attention and pressure. Meanwhile, he is quietly observing, gathering details and sharpening his strategy. When he finally reveals his understanding, it not only surprises others, but also shifts the balance of power in his favor. From a practical perspective, this behavior is also tied to emotional intelligence. Unlike those who rush to showcase their knowledge, Sigma males understand that wisdom is not measured by speed, but by impact. They recognize that speaking too soon can betray insecurity, while silence can project calm confidence. Neuroscience supports this as well. The brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, thrives when given time to process. Acting with patience allows decisions to be sharper, while impulsive responses often lead to errors. So when a Sigma seems clueless, it's rarely a lack of awareness. It's a test, a pause, a deliberate moment of waiting for the right alignment. His power lies not in showing off, but in surprising those who doubted him. And when he finally makes his move, whether in relationships, business, or social dynamics, he reminds everyone that the quietest man in the room often holds the sharpest mind. His restraint is not passivity. It is strategy. And it is this timing that makes his knowledge not just useful, but unforgettable. The Sigma male's apparent cluelessness is not a weakness at all. It's a calculated move, a quiet strategy shaped by patience, observation, and timing. In many ways, this mirrors tactics found in nature and even human history. Predators like owls or big cats rarely rush. They watch. They wait. And only when the moment is right do they strike with precision. The Sigma operates in much the same way, understanding that in a world where everyone else is scrambling for attention and validation, silence becomes a weapon of its own. When he appears aloof or as though he's not paying attention, he is often absorbing everything. Psychologists note that strong observers tend to notice patterns others miss, changes in tone, inconsistencies in stories, or hidden motivations. By acting detached, the Sigma allows people to reveal themselves freely, often exposing more than they would in front of someone eager to impress. It's a subtle form of social intelligence, not unlike the tactics used by skilled negotiators or detectives who know that silence encourages the other person to keep talking. This so-called cluelessness also buys him time. In a fast-paced society that rewards quick reactions, the Sigma sees the value in delaying his response. Research on decision-making shows that impulsive choices often lead to mistakes, while those who take a moment to analyze tend to achieve better outcomes. The Sigma doesn't rush to prove he knows. It's often more effective to let others underestimate him. This strategy has roots in Sun Tzu's The Art of War, where appearing weak or ignorant is sometimes the most powerful way to gain an advantage. Far from being a flaw, this silence-driven approach becomes a shield against unnecessary conflict and a compass towards smarter outcomes. While others waste energy trying to dominate conversations or prove themselves, the Sigma conserves his strength. And in that quiet, he doesn't just survive. He learns, adapts, and ultimately outsmarts. What looks like cluelessness is, in truth, the art of playing the long game, where the real victory belongs not to the loudest but to the most patient and perceptive. If this video gave you value, hit that like button and subscribe. Join this community of men who refuse to be ordinary. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and embrace the Sigma mindset. Thank you for watching.